Hello guys, my name is Anna and I'm a Ukrainian. And I have decided I will vlog daily from my country Ukraine since the start of this awful war with Russia. And in my daily videos I try to update you on the important real-life situations in Ukraine, and of course I'm always glad to answer your questions and to clarify some facts from the Ukrainian history, culture, or whatever interests you. And today I think it is extremely important to make a small update on the situation in Donbas region, and especially about the battle that is known as the Battle of Donbas. And the situation is pretty tough, a little bit dramatic, and extremely important right now here. I'm very proud of the work of Ukrainian armed forces, but there are lots of problems and lots of hardships that Ukrainian soldiers face. Of course, when this war began, we have realized in a couple of weeks that it will take long to oppose Russia and their army, as they are not that strong, not that smart, but there are millions of people whom Putin is ready to sacrifice. And every war, if it is longer than a week or two, typically has phases. And perhaps today we are going through the second phase that is extremely important for the future outcome of this war and the victory of Ukraine, and this is actually the Battle of Donbas. Now all of our attention is focused on the cities like Severodonetsk, Lysychansk and other locations, and many things that happen there, they change really dynamically, and there are things that motivate and give strength, and there are also things that demotivate and terrify with the news that we receive. From what I understand, in general, there are lots of Ukrainian people willing to fight, and the number of soldiers and people needed for the performance of various military tasks is enough. But we don't have enough weapons, and despite the fact that so many European countries, the United States, the United Kingdom, have supported us and are ready to give weapons, this process is pretty long. And many of these heavy weapons are still not in Ukraine. Many of the weapons that we have received, people don't know how to use, and they need specific preparation, and also they need specific trainers to come and to demonstrate them. And of course, I have read lots of articles even in Western media. Many experts agree if this military support would have started before the February, we definitely would be more prepared. But the fact that many scout services in the world believe that Ukraine is not able to oppose Russia, many countries decided not to support us with weapons because the outcome of this war seemed obvious. But after they have noticed this strong strength of Ukraine and our desire to fight for our freedom, our territory, our independence, countries started to support us. But this is a really long process. Also, I know that many people abroad describe me how you see lots of military vehicles, lots of weapons traveling to through your regions. Not all of these weapons actually go to Ukraine. The United States and other strong military countries have decided to support other allies, and especially countries of NATO, to strengthen them, taking into account that so many dangerous messages come out from Russian government. And from what I know now, lots of battalions that stay in Donbas still lack weapons, still lack tanks and other things they need. And how does this phase of war look? Once again, I'm not a military expert, and there are lots of words and lots of things that I have to learn for myself. So if I do make some simplifications, please forgive me. But Russia has lots of planes, and Russia has lots of missiles. Even though these missiles are pretty long, some of them are dated, they were created in the times of Khrushchev. For me, it is something unbelievable. But still, taking into account that they have like millions of tons of this junk, they also do not value human lives, and they have millions of poor young men who are ready to come and die, and before they die after they steal something or kill someone in Ukraine. I know they try to send this message over and over again in Western media, and this is another very dangerous and very shrewd type of Russian propaganda when they say still you cannot win Russia because we have millions of people, we have millions of weapons, even if they are outdated, they are still working. And this is the message that was often repeated in Davos forum. And this is really dangerous because especially those European countries that are sometimes in doubt, that want to preserve the face of Putin, that want to preserve the ability to communicate with him, they are terrified with this kinds of messages, and they try to introduce the ideas like, well, you still cannot overcome Russia because it's a huge country with lots of weapons. That's why it's so important for us to receive all of this. And I know that this typical day will look like Russian planes flying over Ukrainian territory and bombing, then maybe some artillery and missiles attacks, and only then they have motor vehicles, battalions, and like soldiers walking on the ground. So all of these are different stages and different levels, and Ukrainians do not always have enough like planes, these things, and we desperately ask for multiple launch missile systems, and this will give an opportunity to save many Ukrainian lives and to participate not just like in this close fights, but to be able to protect Ukrainian soldiers, including when they are doing their missions. And of course, the Ukrainian armed forces demonstrate themselves as really brave and really strong, and the tactics is smart. But still, there are lots of Russian soldiers. They have lots of outdated weapons, and they are ready to lose people. They are ready to lose weapons because, once again, they are trying to save the regime. And another thing, what is both good and bad about democratic countries, we have lots of discussions, we have lots of doubts, we have one step forward, two steps backward, and Russia is a totalitarian regime. They have already switched their economy into this military type of economy. They have already blocked all the doubts and other points of view in their media. And I'm very much afraid that the West, together with Ukrainians, together with other allies, will start quarreling about what actually is Ukrainian victory, where is that measure until which we are ready to help. And now Putin's propaganda also starts sending the messages like soon the summer will pass very quickly and we will approach the cold period, and you will need Russian gas and you will be ready to negotiate. And this Kissinger messages like, we still cannot overcome Russia, so let's decide on the territories. And honestly, this is very demotivating. And I personally, and the majority of Ukrainians, I think all Ukrainians and all sane people all over the world, I don't understand how come after seeing all these Russian crimes in Bucha, in Mariupol, shooting of civilians, this continuing crimes, how can we think of saving Russia's face or saving Putin's face? You cannot accept evil. You cannot say it's normal because too many crimes. This is not just about money or just about energy. This is also about thousands of lives of innocent people who are killed just because they are Ukrainians. And if Putin is not stopped, he will continue with other countries. Maybe it will take him half a year, maybe a year, maybe it won't be Putin but his successor. But this evil must be punished. And that's why this Battle of Donbas is extremely important. If they manage to take over the cities they want, they will continue to other Ukrainian cities. And now they start talking about Kyiv again, or they talk about Odessa. And well, the main thing that even those European countries that have doubts must understand that the gas they need, the mineral resources they need, they do not belong to Putin. After Putin is off, after he is, I don't know, for me, I think he should be executed, but after he is no more at the rule in Russia, Russia will stay with all of its resources. And you can start negotiating with a more normal president, though I cannot think of one. But anyway, I do understand that the next weeks are extremely important, and the support during this next weeks is extremely important. And at the same time, Russians also understand that, and they turn on their propaganda louder. They influence the politicians that have doubts or that lack money, or maybe they also blackmail. I don't have doubts about that. And that is why I think it is extremely important to speak about this fact that this war continues, that Ukraine is definitely a country that needs the support, because the truth is on our side. We are fighting for freedom. We are fighting against a really dark, evil empire that is dangerous for all the world. And we cannot ask Ukrainians to come down, because it's not us who started it all. And we cannot close our eyes on the thousands and hundreds of thousands of people whose lives were destroyed by this war. So I'm grateful for your support. I'm grateful for watching my vlogs and maybe for sharing them, because I do believe that now it is even more important than at the beginning of this war to talk about the support for Ukraine, Ukrainian military, and Ukrainian people in general. Please feel free to ask your questions. I'm really grateful for the conversations we have. Thank you for your subscriptions, for the coffees, and the fact that you become my patrons. That really motivates and gives me more time to research and think on the next vlogs. Slava Ukraini!